today's eminent speaker, Dr. Vinod Valvadikar sir, Principal of BIT Dr. A.K. Deshmane sir, and Vice Principal of BIT Dr. N.G. Narve sir, and all the faculties and research students for this FDP. We all get the vast knowledge of various topics through this 1 week FDP. In our yesterday's session, we learned about the future skilling, and today is the second day of our FDP. Dr. Vinod Valvadikar sir is with us, and sir's topic is solar energy and renewable energy, who have an excellent academic career and experience. So once again, I heartily welcome to all of you. Now I request Dr. A.K. Deshmane sir to give few words about this FDP.
Thank you, ma'am. This is a great pleasure to have the Valvadikar sir with us, and today it is very pleasure for me to inaugurate the second day of the FDP. I welcome Dr. Valvadikar sir and all the participants, the teaching faculties from the engineering college of the different colleges, and really the topic they have been selected for the today's FDP is a renewable energy. Really, it will add a valuable knowledge to all the participants who are present in the meeting. I once again welcome all directors who are present in the meeting, and especially I have been seen Dr. R.K. Jain was joined in the meeting, who is the principal of JSCOE Pune, and really Valvadikar sir has got a tremendous knowledge in the renewable energy, especially in case of your solar energy. I'm the student of Valvadikar sir. He has been given much of knowledge and much of help during my PhD work, and always he was worried about when you are going to give the presentation of the PhD. That way he has been made me to be very strong in my PhD work during my PhD work in 2017, 2011 and 2010. So as the topic itself, it says that we know that the petrol and the diesel, this particular fuel is going to end one day. And one has to think about the renewable energy like the solar energy. And we know that the India is very much rich in the natural resources of energy. And especially we have to concentrate on this particular sector of the solar energy in coming future to prevent the difficulties will be caused in the coming future. So this particular topic that have been selected, it is very good topic, and really sir had made a very nice presentation, and you will enjoy the presentation of Valvadikar sir. And I see that sir is very much interested to go for much of the details of the solar panel design, solar design techniques, and more of this particular topic. So in the next FDP, when we will be conducting the next FDP, in that particular FDP, sir will be taking much of review about the design part of these solar energies. So really, once again, I thanks to Valvadikar sir for being with us today for this particular FDP. And I can say that this is one of the role model for me. He has been given much of knowledge during my PhD work. Really, this is a very nice chance for you people to interact with the Valvadikar sir. And after the session, I'll be requesting you all people to have interaction with the Valvadikar sir and get your ideas clear. And once again, thank you to all the participants and Valvadikar sir for joining this particular FDP. Over to Aute ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. It's my pleasure to introduce today's eminent speaker, Dr. Vinod Valvadikar sir. He is retired scientist and Deputy Director of Central Electronics Engineering Research Institute, Pilani. He is retired Executive Director and Director of National Institute of Electronics and Information Technology, New Delhi. He is retired Professor, Head of the Department, Dean and Principal of Sri Vaishnav Institute of Engineering and Science, Indore. He had bright academic career with rank in BE, ME, PhD in Electrical Engineering from Indian Institute of Technology, Bombay. In 1974, he started his professional career as a faculty in Electrical and Electronics Engineering Department at BITS Pilani. Then he joined Central Electronics Engineering Research Institute as a scientist and was Deputy Director and Group Leader, Engineering Service when delivered as in technical resignation. Then he worked as a Director of Center for Electronics and Design Technology of India at Aurangabad. He was also acting as Executive Director of NEITL-IT, New Delhi. After the retirement from NEIL-IT, he working as head of the department, Dean of Research and Principal at SVIT's Indore. In the 23 years experience at CRI Pilani as a scientist and project leader, he designed and developed many products in the field of TV technology and power electronics. He also developed the innovative technologies such as low induction fabrication of medium power, PWM, transitant inverter, low power UPS, and high frequency DC to DC converter based efficiently power supplies for quality and cost effectively products. This helps small sector industries to get established in a competitive market of UPS. He has 4 products, 7 research publications, 6 research reports, and partially contribution in 2 books. In the field of TV technology, 6 innovative technologies, 6 new concepts, 29 research publications, 12 research reports, and 121 theses of PG, UG, and diploma students in the field of lower electronics, IT, and instrumentation. He was reviewer for the papers to be accepted for publications in IEEE. He launched research programs and contributed in expanding the activities of the NIELIT to reach the unreached youth, particularly of rural India. As a principal of SVITs, he enhanced the qualities of faculties and students by conducting various activities. He also transferred 8 technologies to Indian industry, generating revenue in crores. He has awarded by 8 awards and 2 foreign assignments to his credit and honored with expert membership of 53 national and international technical committees. He was member of IEEE, IFTA, ISHREA, and IET. He was chairman of IET Subcenter Aurangabad. He has been confirmed 14th IET Award and First Excellence Certificate. He was nominated twice Chancellor, nominees on Senate, twice member of Academic Council of Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University of Aurangabad. He worked as a member of Board of Studies in ENTC. As a result of this, his outstanding performance has been including his who's who in the world as most accomplished men and women from around the world. So I'm very happy to present such a great personality in front of you with excellent academy and experience, Dr. Vinod Walwadikar, sir. I handed over the session to you, sir.
Thank you, Professor Aute, and thank you, Dr. Deshmane. Good afternoon, my dear teachers. I thank again Dr. Deshmane and the management of JSPM Bhagwan Institute of Technology, Barshi, for giving me this opportunity to interact with you through this FDP in recent technology. As you know, the slide is before you of the title. I'm going to discuss about solar energy, a renewable energy. Let me tell you, energy is the most important parameter for the development of any country. Fortunately, today, there are 2 areas which are prominent. One is energy, renewable energy, and another is the electric vehicle. Fortunately, I work on these two from 1986 onwards. Let me now go to the next slide. Excuse me. Hello. The slide is not shifting, please, Mr. Londe.
Wait, sir, wait.
Hello. Yeah, slide is not, neither step is working, not anything is working. What to do?
Sir, please stop share and again start sharing, please.
Okay, stop share. Mhm. Mm. Yes. I share now.
Okay, sir, go ahead.
Mhm.
It's sharing, sir.
Sharing. Fine. File is not getting shared. Reload the file, he's saying.
Yes, sir. Reload, please.
Reload.
Yes.
Hmm. Yes. Yes. Very slowly. Very slow. Hmm. So I start now. The content of this my presentation. Are you able to listen, please? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Ah. So content of my today's presentation is part 1 that I am going to discuss today's source of energy and their classification, need of solar energy for India, introduction to solar radiation photovoltaic cell and technology, solar technology applications, off grid, on grid, and hybrid, business opportunity and ROI and playback if time permits, because we wasted a lot of time now. I work on the small, I don't do the full side. I don't know on this. It's not responding. Very slowly working. No, but this is not going fast. So the next,
Sir, please stop share at your end. I will share at my end.
okay. So I have a stop share.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, stop share. You share. Yes. Next slide, please. Can I move it? This is
No,
last.
sir, just this last one. Okay, fine. Wait.
This first slide. Okay. So this is what I discussed. Can I move myself from my side?
No, sir, not possible.
No. So I have to tell you, isn't it?
Okay. Yes. Sir.
Okay. The next slide, please. This is a part 2, which, as Dr. Deshmani said, I am not able to cover today. So this will be discussed in the next faculty development program. Next, please. So I am coming to the classification of energy resources. Now the classification can be done based on two bases. That is, one is traditional use, and another is the long-term availability. The first is based on traditional use. One is called conventional, and another is called non-conventional. We will see what are conventional, what are non-conventional. And the same if classified in terms of long-term availability. It is called renewable, which is replenished, and non-renewable, which is non-replenished. In short, non-renewable is the conventional one, renewable is the non-conventional one. Again, conventional can be classified in two forms, commercial and non-commercial. Next slide, please. Next, now coming to the conventional or non-renewable energy sources, these are the sources which have been used for a long time and in limited quantity except hydroelectric power. See, hydroelectric power can be classified in both form, conventional as well as renewable, because it doesn't deplete. The energy is available always. It is per year basis from the hydro. So it can be classified in the both form, conventional as well as renewable. So the conventional energy is known are which have been used for a long time and but they are in limited quantity. Now it can be conventional but non-conventional energy sources, mostly fossil fuels like petrol, diesel, found under the ground, such as coal, oil, and natural gas. Conventional but renewable energy sources, mostly non-fossil fuels, seen above the ground. See the difference, such as firewood, charcoal, vegetable waste, and cattle dung, cow dung, you can say, etc. The commercial energy sources is classified under conventional one, the energy for which the consumer has to pay, he has to purchase, and they are such as from coal and lignite, petroleum and electricity from thermal, atomic power, hydropower, or you can say nuclear power, and that also called heavy water. Non-commercial energy sources for which one consumer is not to pay, and it is free of cost and commonly used in the rural India, such as fuel wood, but it is available in a limited quantity of 15 metric ton a year. See, when it is defined as a metric ton per year, that means it is replenished every year, and that's why it can be called in a non-conventional one also. And less than 50% of the total requirement. It is less than of the total 50% of the requirement. The second is agriculture or vegetable waste like straw, which is 65% used for fuel and rest for the organic manure. And the third is animal waste like dried dung, which is 73 out of 324 metric ton is used for the fuel and rest for the organic manure. Next slide, please. Coming to renewable energy sources, the sources which are newly discovered and their use just started recently. These sources continuously replenished by natural sources. These are replenished natural sources like water through rivers and other things, solar energy from sun, wind from air, like this one. The renewable energy forms are solar, wind, hydro, geothermal, ocean, also called marine or also called tidal wave, and tidal is biomass, gas, fuel, hydrogen cell, nuclear. See, nuclear has come there also in a commercial and also here also. Agriculture is also the same way, animal waste is also there. The another important is energy from urban waste like MSK, municipal solid waste, the waste of the urban area. This can be also converted. Recently in Indore, there is a big plant for this has been established. So these are the renewable energy sources. Now, what is the difference between renewable energy and non-renewable energy sources? The conventional one is, it is non-renewable or depletable, like petrol, diesel, crude oil, or coal. They are going to last not forever. Hardly coal is going to last for 120, 130 years. They pollute, emit pollution in the environment. They are costly also and expensive. compared to renewable like solar. Whereas solar is renewable and replenishable, non-pollute, clean and eco-friendly, and low cost and inexpensive. Next, please. Now coming to the point, why do we need solar energy in India? The first important thing is reason for energy crisis. The energy crisis, if you remember, because you must be, most of you must be child, in 1980s, there was a very big crisis and the crude oil was not able to be supplied by the Gulf countries. And that's why the world's attention has spread that we have to find some alternate energy sources. That was the starting point. And from there, everything started. Now, energy, another reason is depletion in sources of fossil fuels in next 100 to 150 years. Energy cost of conventional energy is high. Increasing cost, it is increasing day by day. You know, what is the petrol price now? Impact of superindustrialization. As superindustrialization is happening, industrialization is increasing, the energy requirement is increasing. Critical dependence of the modern society on reliable energy source. As society is getting modernized, their standard of living is increased and they want a reliable energy source and they want more source. Presently, 5-10 years back, the energy consumption in India was very, very less. I will give you the data in the future, in the next slides, few slides. And another is more than 60% of energy consumed in India is wasted due to apathy of users and manufacturers. We waste energy too much. You see, the motors, electric motors, are so much inefficient that 2 by 3 of the energy is wasted in that case. Next, please. Now, how these factors are affecting the management? India is an agriculture country with about 70% of its population living in rural areas. And in rural areas, it is very difficult to take the normal grade because the cost, it is not cost effective. To lay the line, it is not cost effective. We want decentralization in the energy supply. Rural sector is contributing about 60% of the GNP. Another thing is in rural area also the villages are in large numbers and they are separated and they are sparsely separated. Exponential increase in energy consumption due to rapid growth of all sectors of economy. As I said earlier, the energy consumption of India is increasing. Use of agro residues and waste yielded by sugarcane, rice, pulses, etc. They are to be used now. And nuclear energy is not sufficient so that they can meet the requirement of the India. Next, please. Now you see the limitation of conventional energy and advantage of the renewable energy. The conventional energy limitation is expensive electrification of remote villages. As I said, it is very difficult to take the distribution line to the villages. Heavy distribution losses. Pollution from thermal generation of electricity is very high. Or from fossil fuels also, like coal, diesel. Health hazard and serious deforestation leading to ecological imbalance. There is a serious deforestation because of this also. Because of resulting from the burning of fuel wood. Reduced productivity due to deficiency in needed organic informs. Since we want to also use the agri waste for the organic form, and that's why it is not either it will reduce the productivity or it will not supply for the energy. Next, please. The details are given. Advantage of non-conventional renewable energy sources. Inexhaustible and abundant. See, sun, We will see the next slide where it is available for 5 billion years and it is giving 25 times more than the world consumption per year. Noise and pollution free. No danger of irreversible climatic changes. It doesn't affect climatic changes. Like CO2 or the generation of CO2, buildup of CO2 and depletion of ozone layer, which is hazard. No environmental constraint. Protection against unequal use of pattern. Minimum transmission losses. Protection against exploitation due to political environment. Like you see, a political party says the refinery has to be established in this area, like which is established in Agra. It is available everywhere. Solar is available everywhere. You can have a generating station everywhere. Decentralization of energy generation is possible, as I said earlier also. Stand-alone small power station is possible for small villages. Easy, fast, relatively inexpensive installation. Installation is very inexpensive. And if there is a failure, it is only a localized failure. It is not catastrophic effect, as happened 2 years back. The grid was failed everywhere in the North India. There was no electricity for 24 hours or more. Next slide. So what is the solution? We need a decentralized low capacity production of energy. We need low running cost of energy generation. We need agriculture, animal, urban waste, MSD based energy generation also. So for this, one of the main energy sources, particularly for the first one, the solar, which I'm going to focus on solar energy only. The rest of the renewable energy I will take into part. Now, how the power is generated? There are 3: thermal power, like the input source is coal and oil. Second is hydroelectric power from constructing the dam, and the third is nuclear power from the uranium and thorium as a fuel and the reactors. Next. Now, let us see the status. First, let us see the left side, the fossil fuels. Coal is available into 20 to 10 to power 22 joules. You can calculate 1 kilowatt hour by 3.6 million joules. Okay, and it is hardly available for 100 to 120 years. Oil is available only 1.5 into 10 to the power 22 joules. Gas is available is 1.1 into 10 to the power 22. So these are very limited, available for 50 to 100 years only. Nuclear, it is available for 1 into 10 to the power 22 joules. Thorium is capacity which is available, total reserve, I can say reserve, is only 1 into 10 to the power 24. Deuterium 3 into 10 to the power 31. It is very difficult to create energy from thorium and deuterium. It is also hazardous. So these are also very limited, and it is not cost effective nuclear compared to our renewable one. Now coming to the traditional fuel wood, it is 50 million tons a year. It is very less. It is hardly 50% is used out of this. Cow dung is 73 million tons out of 324 total animal waste. And agro waste is only 65% of the fuel is used, and the remaining is used for the organic manure. Coming to the commercial one, the electricity, thermal and hydro are the commercial one, which are again generated from the fossil fuel. Coming to the renewable energy source, solar is available 3.8 into 10 to the power 24 joules per year. and that is 22 joules only total. You can say it is replenishable. Similarly, everything is replenishable here: solar, wind, biomass, tidal, wave. These are everything is per year. So the biomass is generated from bagasse, rice husk, soya husk, jute, coffee waste, cotton straw, coconut shells, straw, dew-oil cakes, sawdust. From these are generated. Next slide. Now, what is the current energy scenario? India's population is 17% of the world's overall population, whereas electricity consumption is very, very less. It is 4% of the world consumption. It should be at par with the 17%. And which is, that's why the growth is of our electricity consumption is very high. It is 8 to 10% per year. India's power demand in 2017 was 335 gigawatt GW. Energy consumption in 2021 was 1123 million tons of oil equivalent. This is oil equivalent. If you need, the equivalent can be converted into kilowatt hour. Main source of in India, from where this energy comes, the 452.2 million tons come from the coal, that is 55.88 maximum. Next is crude oil, 29.55. The next is natural gas. This is 31. This is 49.9. The next is hydroelectricity, 31.6. Next is renewable, 27.5. Only 3.4%. And nuclear, only 1.09%. This was the status in 1920. Now you can see how we are improving renewable energy. We are going to reach 460 gigawatt by 2027. You will see in the next few slides. Next, please. This is the consumption. Fuel wise, word energy. This is what the energy consumption. And installed grid power capacity as on 31/3/2020 in India is like 370 gigawatt. Yeah, 370.106 gigawatt. And here these are the word energy consumption. This side is written. Now the next, the lower one of the slide, see India's electricity generation as on 27 November 2020 for renewable energy sources were 136 gigawatt out of 373 gigawatt of total electricity generation. It is only at 38%. Now it is going to have 55 or 60% by 2022. Next slide. Now we can see the overviews and target. As on 30 September 2020, our total renewable energy generation was only 92.5 gigawatt and 92,532,000 megawatt. These were the status on 30 September. We have targeted 225 gigawatt in 2022 and 2027 we are going to target 462 gigawatt, and the distribution is given. You see the solar in by 2022 is 113 gigawatt, whereas in 2027 is 275 gigawatt. Biomass is 10. The small hydro is 5, going to be 72. And the waste to power, which I said from agri waste and animal waste, going to increase to 100. And there are many other things also. And nuclear is going to be 15 gigawatt. So this way, this is 462 from the a major 55 to 60% energy from renewable sources by 2027. Next slide. So from this scenario, energy scenario, we can conclude that one, energy reserves are limited, as I said, and are depleting at a fast rate. Energy demand of India is set to increase manifold in coming years. You know why, which I explained you. The building sector which is coming up in India, and that's why the civil engineers has to be attentive about the energy requirement. For over the 1/3 of India's total electricity consumption, which is mainly in the residential and commercial sectors. This is one of the major factor of energy demand in the next few years in India. India depends heavily on imported energy and will continue to do so, because we are able to maximum by 2027 or 2030, we are going to have a 60% by renewable energy, and we are going to increase slowly and slowly. But still we have to import, and the result is limited, and they are becoming costly and costly day by day. We are the 4th or 5th largest energy consumer in the world and 3rd largest polluter in the world. We are taking actions recently by this government to reduce the pollution, and that's why one of the reasons for paying attention to solar energy is to reduce pollution, to have a clean climate, to have a climate where global warming is not there, heating is not there, many other effects were not there, we will see subsequently. And again, from generating the electricity from fossil fuel, there is a reduction of carbon, CO2 and CO, which generates again the carbon emissions in the coming years, apart from the vehicles. Next slide. So now I am coming to the solar energy. The conventional energy reserves, as we have seen, of the earth are limited. Coal, it is 150 years return, but I think now it is 110 to 120 years because its slide is quite old. Oil, gas, and uranium will be depleted in another 30 to 40 years. Whereas the sun will generate energy for 5 billion years, as I said, not trillion, billion years. And the annual solar energy irradiation is 2,500 times the what global energy consumption, annual consumption is there of the world. Please note that this much energy can supply the sun. That's why in our Hindu culture, we pray to sun, we worship sun. It is not that because it is one of the major item, major one in our life. Next slide, please. Can you make the big slide a little bit so that people can see? No. Next, previous slide. This one. Now you can say the demand factor. Why demand factor for solar in India? Because there is a power deficit of 13%, and by 2050 it will be a 1600 gigawatt, going to be 16 gigawatt deficit. Another is the price of commercial electricity is going to increase, and it is increasing 6% per year, the cost. You see, electricity is, you know very well. The third is solar cost is falling. You know, now we'll see future. The cost of 1 watt solar is hardly 20 cent, 15 cent now. It was 30 cent in somewhere 2015-16. It is going to reduce, and that's why it is decreasing by 47% per year. Every year it gets reduced by 50%. And last is our solar radiation is twice as much as that of Germany. So much solar radiation is there. It is God's grace that we are situated in a place where the solar radiation is abundant. Do you know the difference between radiation, irradiation, and insolation? Please, anybody can talk, or all are mute. Hello? I think mute, they are mute. Let me explain you. Radiation is the power which is coming from sun. After that, it is in the atmosphere, and then it is reaching to Earth's surface. So it is a power radiated, and the unit is watts only. Irradiation is the power reached on the Earth's surface per unit area. That is watt, a kilowatt per square meter, per feet square feet. So, and insolation is the energy which is available after conversion on the Earth's surface, which is per unit area, which is kilowatt hour per square meter. So this is the three difference between radiation, irradiation, and insolation. So the next slide, please. So you can see this is the 2015 status, or you can say 2014. Our major source of energy was coal, that is 60%, and solar was only 1%. And now it is reached around 40% solar. You can see that. And coal has reduced much further, and it is going to increase to around 60% by 2027. So these are the various, and this one, that 60% is coal, oil is 1%, rest everything is the renewable in 2015. But the nuclear, the hydropower, they were more. Okay, next slide, please. Wind. So this slide shows how these fossil fuels affect the climatic change. Changing rain and snow patterns because of this pollution, changes in animal migration and life cycles, stronger storms. You see, the storms has come recently. Higher temperatures and more heat waves. The temperature is rising. Global warming is taking place. Corals are getting damaged. Sea level is rising. Ocean is even warmer because of this. Ice is getting converted into water. All these are the unpleasant changes happening. Even plant life cycle is also getting changed. So if we deduce the energy from the natural sources like sun or wind, this is not going to affect. Even the fertilized area is getting reduced. Next slide, please. This also says that because of solar, the carbon emissions is going to reduce. How much? The 1 megawatt is installed. Solar PV installed. So 1159 ton. 1159 ton of CO2, 241 annual emission of vehicle, 241 vehicles, passenger vehicles emit annually. And that is equal to, if you have to compensate that, we require 950 acres equivalent for that purpose. So this much carbon emission is reduced. Next slide. This is the same. I think earlier I have explained it that we have doubled the energy. This also I explained that in 2015, in 1977, the per watt energy solar PV cell cost was 1 watt solar was $76, and now in 2015 it was only 30 cents, and now it has further reduced to 15 cents, around 15 cents in by 2020. Next, so the cost of solar is decreasing, whereas cost of fossil fuels is increasing. Cumulative capacity available of various countries of the world. 13, we were nowhere in the renewable energy. The first one of around 1100 megawatt was installed in 2013. And now we are at 136 gigawatt and going to be 225 gigawatt by GP. How fast we are raising solar energy. And therefore I say there is a lot of scope of research, of production, creating an instrument for solar assisted production. Next slide. Hello, next slide, please. This is the same as 457 megawatt was installed by 2015 in India, which was only 835 watt in 2015-16. Next slide. So, considering that we have to focus on the renewable energy, in budget 2016, Mr. Jaitley has allocated rupees 5,036 crore for renewable energy sector, and the target was 175 gigawatt energy to be generated from renewable energy capacity. Out of that, 100 gigawatt from solar, 60 gigawatt from wind, and 10 gigawatt from biomass, and 5 gigawatt from small hydro. Small hydro has quite increased now. The 100 gigawatt solar distribution is like that. Solar मध्ये जे 100 gigawatt येणार आहे त्याच्यामध्ये rooftop solar, by rooftop solar it is going to be 40 gigawatt, and that also there is a classification which for which for which sector it will be generated, how much, and this is for, and 60 will be for from different category 2, 60 gigawatt. So total is 100 gigawatt power from solar. Next, please. Now I am coming to the basic solar radiation, the introduction of basics. Solar radiation reaching the Earth's surface is called global radiation or irradiation. See, and there are even energy can be generated if it is a diffuse light, and the annual average can be up to 50%. So it is seen that if it is the left one, it is 50 to 200 watt per meter square is the solar irradiation. If it is a little bit more, it is 200 to 700 watt per meter square solar radiation. If it is a peak sunshine, it goes up to 1000 watt per meter square. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So this says there are two types of radiation. One is direct, as I said, and another is diffuse. Diffuse through our environment, like the right one, reflection, scattering, and another is a reflection from the earth itself, and then it is generated. So these are the two are very important. Diffuse one through the scattering and direct radiation. These generate the energy for us. But when there is a direct, generation, then thermal process is more cheaper, more economical than the solar PV photovoltaic. Now coming to the point, solar radiation, you must have seen. In my house, I installed the first solar PV power system in my house, grid tied, of 2 kilowatt, first in Indore, and it is working very nicely. I am self-sufficient. I am supplying even 40%. These generate 1 kilowatt solar panels generate about 4 to 5 unit per day. So I have 2 kilowatt, so around 8 to 10, between 8 to 10 per day on 300 days. And out of that, because of the energy efficient house, mine is, it takes only 4 units per day, that is 130 units. I generate around 250 to 300 units. So 150 units per month I am transferring to the grid, the electricity board, which are paying me at the rate of around sometimes 2 rupees 50 paisa, sometimes 3 rupees. And my cost in 2017 I installed. At the time the cost was hardly 50,000 rupees, everything per kilowatt, 1 lakh rupees. Now it is around that, a little bit more with this. So this shows what are the signal changes. You know, our location in latitude and altitude, where we are, and depending upon the sun part. The green line shows the sun part in December. It is more tilted towards south. And the blue line and the red line shows the sun part in June, more towards north. Okay. So different radiation angles and day length. And accordingly, our solar panels should be placed so that the sun hits the solar panel almost perpendicularly. That's why ideally we need the solar panel to be tracked or to be moved azimuthally and to be tilted. That is because the azimuth means the direction of the solar power, how much it is in south, from south to west or south to east. That is what the position we'll see in future. And tilt is how much it is tilted in azimuth in this sector. And you know, in different weather condition, that's why the radiation of energy is different and at different locations. We are lucky that we have a better energy condition. Next slide, please. This explains the tilt and azimuth angles. See, the tilt is given is how much is tilted from the surface of the earth. Okay, you can see blue one, that is the tilt angle. Azimuth angle is how much we are towards west from south, or towards east from south. That is the direction which is related to the just a minute, please. Let me tell you. The tilt angle is related to the latitude, whereas azimuth angle is related to the whether we are going from south to east or south to west movement this way. Okay, so these two are very responsive, and that's why we need, if we want the maximum power from the solar energy, we need two types of tracking in the solar installation. That is one mechanical in two directions, azimuth, this one, the azimuth angle direction, and another is the latitude angle, that is tilt and required. You can see from this one, and that is what the automatic tracking is required as the sun moves from season to season and from morning to evening. But the maximum difference will be of 7% of the energy or 7% of the power by this tilting, mechanical tracking. Now we have to see that for mechanical tracking, how much power we require in terms of motors and other and capital cost. Whether still it benefit, then it is worth doing so. Otherwise, it is better to have a fix in a average direction. And generally, now at present we have a fixed solar angles. We don't move mechanically, but definitely we do the maximum power tracking, maximum power point tracking, where maximum power is available, which is electronic and which is available, we'll see in the inverter. And generally, when the location which is in north hemisphere, we face south like we, and those who are in the south hemisphere, they face towards north side for the sun. Next slide. So the tilt angle is given. If latitude is 0 to 15 degree, you require 15 degree. If latitude angle of your location is less than 15 degree, then fix as 15 degree. Okay. If it is 15 to 20 degree, same as whatever is latitude angle. If 25 to 30 degree, 5 degree more than the latitude angle. And it is if 40 plus, then you have a 20 degree aid to the local latitude. The picture is also shown there, so that the sun hits the solar panel 90 degree perpendicular to the panels. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Hello. Next slide, please. Hello. Yes, please. हा प्रोफेसर लोंढे काय झालंय?
Hello.
हॅलो. हा बोला.
Sir, 1 minute. I will contact with लोंढे sir.
हा हे काय झालं काय?
1 minute मी कॉल करते त्यांच्याशी कॉन्टॅक्ट करते.
हा सर, मी वेलवेडकर बोलतोय. हा त्यांचा मोबाईल स्विच होतोय. आणखीन माझं पॉवर पॉइंट तिथं निघून गेलेला आहे. तिथं काहीतरी प्रॉब्लेम झालाय.
Sorry for the inconvenience. The network is unstable, sir. Wait, we'll start within 5 minutes.
monocrystalline and polycrystalline. Hello. Hello. Hello.
हाँ sir,
हाँ,
you are
कट
audible,
झालं.
audible.
Audio आता audible आहे. And thin
हाँ,
film
yeah.
cells. Then next slide please. These are the advantages of polycrystalline, that is multiple crystalline, and it is simpler, less cost is there. But disadvantage is space efficiency is lower. Means it requires more space. Next please. Next please. Fast. This is about monocrystalline. The advantage and disadvantage is given. Next. This is about thin film, which is the cheapest out of all, and efficiency is less, but efficiency to cost is high. Next. This is cell wise, the module efficiency and surface area need for 1 kWh is given. And you can see that amorphous thin film require the maximum. Next. This is shows the electrical characteristic of PV modules. You can say cell or you can say a panel, which increases, the voltage increases as the radiation increases. You can see from 200 watt per meter square to 1000, and current also increases. Okay, voltage almost remain the same around 20 volt, but the current is increasing because as radiation increases. Next please. The same one, the effect is with temperature. As temperature increases, the current, the voltage reduces, the current reduces. Current falls fast. You can see the red line, which is the 75 degree. And hence the power output also reduces with the high temperature. Next. This is the PV module characteristic is given and the efficiency is given. Generally, the efficiency of solar cell is around 80%, maximum 25%. Presently, whatever we are in market, commercial market, it is around 16 to 18%, which generates maximum 5 unit per day on an average in working for 300 days per kilowatt. Next, please. This is the construction. What are the various in the PV cell? Upper is frame, then glass, then EVA, then cell, main cell, then again EVA, that is the this one, insulation, then backfill for support, and then Johnson glass. Next, please. These are about orientation, how to keep orientation of the solar panel PV system. It shows, and it shows that 50 degree east to west is not a problem. You can have 50 degree either west or east with respect to south, orient, not much power is reduced. Collection angle is between 10 to 16 degree, that is tilt angle. No, not much problem. Perpendicular is there. Module 1 kilowatt peak correspond to 7.5 meters square. So much area is required of panel for 1 kilowatt peak power. And roughly 800 to 900 units, yeah, kilowatt hour per kilowatt peak is generated annually. Annual yield. Next, please. Yes. Now from here, it start application, and I am going to stop here because it will also take. There are two types: direct by heat, thermal, direct by heat, thermal generated. So we'll take now questions. And let me tell you, please, I request Dr. Deshmane that I have already provided this one PowerPoint presentation. Those who are interested, to them that can be circulated. and it is my wish to them to circulate and learn, and whatever they question, even after this presentation also, sometime after
Yes,
reading they come out, they can talk to me on my phone.
yes, sir.
Yes,
Sir.
please. Question answer.
Hello. Here I
Yes.
requested all the participants who have any question or any doubt, then raise your hand and unmute your mic. Any question from audience? Hello.
Yes.
I think, sir, there is no any question from the audience.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me speak some point. I
Sir,
think.
being a very general question, I would like to ask you, because this has been FDP arranged
Okay.
for all the faculties
Okay.
from the diploma course and degree course. They are attending the program.
Hmm.
So I'll be interested to know that what particular sector is there where the people can do some research work, and they can have some more information about this solar, and mostly they should work on the field like the application of solar energy for the agriculture. So you can just
Yes.
elaborate
Yes.
on that
Yes.
particular point, please.
Yes.
Because
I'm going to cover that also.
yeah,
There is see, particularly,
Huh.
let us say rural area where agriculture also comes. Agriculture is also in the rural area.
Yeah.
You can yourself can fabricate and manufacture a small station of solar and install there, which can generate the electricity for a village of 500 or so. Number one.
Yeah.
A independent stand-alone system where our distribution line cannot reach because of it is not cost effective. Number two, solar water pump. Solar water pump. Now the solar panels are available in the market. Even there are many people who are supplying solar water pump also, which are around 3 HP to 5 HP for the agriculture. And the solar can be, and there the research, all this area is research for what? To make it more cost effective, reducing the cost and increasing the performance. Okay. So
Yeah.
this is another area. Third, new product. New product is like we have a bungalow, we have our house, and we want a lamp at our gate that can be solar for charging our mobile, for charging our small any product. So what electronic we want for charge. So even when we have a charger for mobile, we can put when we are traveling in the air, we can put to the window, and that can charge our this one also. We don't need electricity. So such products thought to be given to the new products based on the solar energy. And then another thing is, it is very difficult to work on the efficiency wise and manufacturing of the solar cell, because you require a big industry, big foundry for manufacturing. So far, I think one is coming in the south. So far in India, there is no semiconductor industry in India. So we can work on the technology side, we can work on the circuit side, we can work on the electronic side, where we can do all this one. We can find out the applications. Another application, like I want to say that you must have seen solar lantern. solar lantern that is there, that can be even more energy efficient can be made than in the Rediwala in the villages, where it has a small battery and inverter based on the solar and it works. That can be there, that is cost effective. So these are the very applications. You have to put a mind to find out a new applications which is cost effective, even for which has not come so far. Solar panel for these petrol pumps, the pumps which are installed in the petrol pump, that can be operated, and they are in villages. If they are, they're more better. So that application has not come so far. Then another thing is for rural application, the ATMs, the energy for the ATM. The energy for ATM, that can be. And there are so many ATMs with the rural energy where you don't require the electricity. There can be a problem because everything is not electrified. All villages are not so much electrified. We need this decentralized energy station, the power station, and their application, like for village, for domestic, for agriculture, for many other things. Even today, the industry itself is generating their own electricity by solar panels. Now, let me tell you, I am very cost effective because I have put the solar panels on my house in 2017, the first in Indore. It is 2 kilowatt. I just said it is 2 kilowatt. It is generating on average 8 units to 9 units per day on 300 days in a year. And because I have constructed my house energy efficient, although it is a 3,200 square feet area, but it requires only 4 units per day. Okay, so 4 units per day. So I am generating 8 to 9 units. The 50% unit I am giving to the grid. It is grid connected, which I was going to explain. They are grid connected. The application it will come. So this is the. So these are the many things. Even I will say for civil engineers. Now there is a lot of thrust on the building, and in building there is a lot of energy required. I have another position on for the building itself. So the architecture, the civil engineer has to take care of the energy requirement of the building, the flat, multiple flat, and that energy has to be generated from the solar. That energy should be or renewable way, whatever it may be. It may be wind. It may be in you are in village. It can be biomass. How best it can be utilized. Like I said just now, that in Indore, the urban wastage, the dry waste, solid waste, municipal solid waste, and the liquid, they are separated, and from there the energy is generated. There is installation. It has come in recently 3 to 4 years. That's why Indore is the first city of India, clean city of India. Na?
Yeah. Okay, over to
and then I want to suggest something to the
faculty.
Hello, sir.
Hello, sir. My one question is that there are 2 types of solar rooftop systems. One is on-grid and another is off-grid.
Yes.
Sir, then which is better, sir? On-grid or off-grid?
The question is,
yes, sir.
What is the difference between the two? The off-grid.
Yes,
shall I reply, please? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. In off-grid, actually, I was going to cover this in my presentation application, but now I reply in your answer to your question. In off-grid, you require battery backup.
Yes, sir.
And directly from the solar, the energy is transferred to the battery.
Yes.
And then that battery supplies to the resident, the domestic house. Okay, so
yes,
there is another one element of battery which is a very costly. The cost increases if a 1 kilowatt unit is installed. Around 20,000 rupees of battery is there the additional cost. And another thing is, if your requirement is increased, then another you have to put. Third point is, battery has to be changed every 5 years. So every 5 years, there is a cost involved of 20,000 rupees. So, whereas grid connected, in grid connected, whenever the energy is supplied, whatever you use, the remaining goes to grid. And in the evening, when the energy is not generated by the solar, you draw from the grid the supply for you in the night, evening. And net, there is a bad energy meter is there, bidirectional energy meter, that is known as net meter. It shows how much we imported. Imported means we have taken from grid, and how much we have exported, we have given to grid. So if it is export is more than the import, then that means we have given more to the electricity board, the grid, and they pay us. They pay us at the rate of regulatory authority. Whatever is 2-3 rupees is standard, every year changes. They pay us. So we ourselves, so by setting up the energy, by setting up the solar panel, we generate the energy for ourselves, plus we can give it to the grid and pay some, take some money. May not be that much, but okay, fine. But we are independent, we are self-sufficient. And another point is, most important thing of this is that you are self-sufficient. You don't require. Okay. Am I answered your question? So grid connected, the disadvantage of grid connected is that if there is a grid failure, your solar panel will also not generate, because solar panel is not independent, it is grid interacted. So if solar panel is generating electricity and grid is failed and voltage is zero, there will be a problem. So they have to, the inverter has a facility that when there is a light goes off, the grid falls, there is no light to your house, then the solar panel also become off, inverter become off and doesn't generate energy. That is the disadvantage, but it is not a much disadvantage. Okay, Mr. Patel.
Yeah.
Am I answered your question? Mr. Patel?
Patel sir. Patel sir.
Okay.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay. So what I want to say that today there was a lot of disturbance because of internet or whatever the other things, and we could not complete one thing, and there was a disruption, so there is a problem of continuity also. So the PowerPoint can be supplied to the all faculty members, and even there must be an interest of civil engineers also, because there is a lot of things, and they read and then they can ask me the questions, or they can discuss what they want to do on my phone or other things or WhatsApp, whatever it may. I'm open.
Sir,
and,
last question. Hello.
Bola.
Last question in chat box. That is, solar energy is good source of energy. But the question is that why the solar plants not develop in our country? We have lots of sunlight.
Solar plants not generated? Who said solar plant is not generated? I have given the presentation, the targets. It is for 462 gigawatt energy is generated by the solar by 2027. The technology has come late. Why technology has come late? Because the cost, it has not become cost effective as the solar PV cell costs come down. As I showed the graph, if you have seen, 1977 it is worth $76 per watt, and now in 2015 it is 30 cents, $0.3 per watt, and now it is even around 15 cents per watt. So the cost has come down. It has become more economical, more cost effective, whereas coal prices, crude oil prices are increasing. The question here is, I think if I understood your question, you are saying why the solar chip PV cell is not fabricated in India. That may be the question of yours. The question here is, it is a mega industry. It is a mega plant. So far in India, the semiconductor industry assembles, but doesn't manufacture the plant. Now it is coming, even in mobiles. We bring the chip, but we assemble here. The semiconductor industry, the generation of chip is still, it requires a large amount of investment in the industry. Unless until government come and fund, then only it can happen. And now they are coming up. There is one industry is coming up in South India. I heard so. And this is coming up, and slowly it will develop, because now, see, the question here is also the government trust. Government has started giving trust now after 2016-17. So far there was no trust. Now you see in 2015 there was hardly 5,000 megawatt. 5,000 megawatt means 5 gigawatt. And now we are talking about 462 gigawatt in another 7 to 8 years. Why? Because government trust is there. Government is giving subsidy. There is a 30% subsidy if you put a solar panel on your house, on your roof of the house. So there is a 30% subsidy. There is a 30% subsidy in solar water, solar heating system, water heating system. I have put everything there, and that's why my energy requirement is very less, because all is made by this. You are most welcome to come to Indore and see my house, how it is energy efficient, and how the solar panel is. This one here, I can send a photograph also if somebody is interested. Yes, sir.
So what will be the cost of solar